I'm on. I'm going to get started. I've got a little plan for this.
I got my gummy bears, so I think I'm out.
Holy cow.
I was getting Yeah, I know. I'm excited. You got to get
Push. Jim's supposed to do a push-up.
I've got a plan, baby.
You got a plan? He gonna pull out something. His college.
Bradley.
Okay, I'm gonna play. Play, how do we do? I don't want that.
Where to go?
Brittany! Look at all, hey, cousin. All of the keys. Do a push-up. Can you do a push-up, Miss Brittany? You do a couple of them.
Can you? Only 2 people signed up for public speaking, right?
Okay.
They are.
We have 5 after 5. I apologize for the delay. We'll start with a pledge. You guys want to lead us?
Yes.
Somebody lead us. Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. So let's have our moment of silence. We're out of order a little bit. I apologize. Thank you. We'll call the roll. I am present. Bishop O'Neill is in Argentina, I think. Is that right?
Correct.
We have Mr. Heater,
Present.
Dr. Bales, Mrs. Barnes-Griffin,
Present.
Mr. Irvin,
Present.
Mr. Lowe.
Present.
Okay, Mr. Williams, tell me about your push-up club.
Yes, Push-Up Club basically meets before our 3 lunches. We have 3 different lunches, a 6th, 7th, and 8th grade lunch. It's the best 5 minutes of the day. And, we definitely believe that, a healthy student produces great results in the classroom as well. So simply put, roughly around 50 to 60 students show up each day. And we do approximately 100 push-ups. We learn different types of push-ups. And we do a lot of math too while we're doing
All
this.
you folks here do 100. Okay? So I'm gonna do push-ups. For everyone I do, you guys ready to do 10? That's simple math, right? What's 10 times 10? 10 times 11. Okay. How far down do I have to go?
You got to be able to get back
We
up.
talk about that, your elbows need to get a 90-degree angle. That's great.
2, 3.
4, 5.
Attaboy. Good job, Jimmy.
That's pretty impressive.
It is.
I'm not giving you that. I'm just saying.
Okay, folks. Spread out. I'm very proud of you guys.
You got this. You wanna take your jacket off, Marcus? Get a female in the group. All right, let's do it.
All right, Mr. Williams is down there too, I see.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody have plenty of space?
We'll show you a typical workout that we do.
Okay.
It's 100 push-ups, and it may last about 2 to 3 minutes.
You take your time.
And, you know, sometimes people say, no, I can't do push-ups. Well, it just starts with one push-up. Can you do one good push-up? And then build off of that. So, 1. Just keep going.
Okay.
2. 3.
'Wow, you got it going.
4. 5. 6.
Those are looking good.
I told them they'd be on camera.
Yeah. Everybody at home's watching this.
7.
7. Let's go.
Keep going. You got this.
You got it. You got
You
it.
this. Younger.
8.
Charles doing his. Oh, Mr. Charles back there too.
Good job, guys.
Awesome.
Good work. Awesome.
Is that somebody from Legacy back there for security?
Yes, Mr. Charles.
Cranking them out.
Yes.
9.
Yeah. You got 10 in you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm 57 years old. I got 10.
10.
He just looked effortlessly. Mr. Ben was like,
So do the math. 1 plus 2 plus 3 all the way to 10. That's 55. We've done 55. Now we go down. We go 90, 65.
That's up. You want to do those or you want to call it a night? It's up to your club.
We prepared for this.
Okay, let's keep it going. Keep it going.
And these students, when we do the 45, they will have completed 300 push-ups.
wow.
Okay. Good for you guys.
9. And the good thing is, a lot of these students are probably going to end up in the weight room at high school.
Yeah. Different athletics and
Some kids were not able to make it tonight due to winter sports. But we have a lot of girls as well as guys. And again, it's just pretty close.
are you glad that Mr. Williams is talking right now? You want a break? That's a good job, guys. It's a good job. Way to stay with it.
Ladies.
7.
This discipline is wonderful.
I need players.
6.
Come on. Not now. Not now. Keep it going.
5.
5. Come on. Don't quit now. Don't quit. Don't quit.
So we learned different push-ups like a diamond
Right.
push-ups. There's a nose diver that we work on, incline push-ups, decline push-ups.
Have you
I've done burpees as well.
showed him Rocky?
Rocky.
Where he claps? Or does Rocky clap in between them, or is that
That's the famous one arm.
one arm?
I don't know if we have anybody ready for that.
Anybody? Anybody able to do a clap between their push-ups?
Breaking noses.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. It's a quick trip down. Okay.
3.
3.
You did that.
Now 2.
Knock it out.
And
again, it all starts with one, right?
Yeah.
One push-up to make a difference. All right, one, we're done. So, Mr. Williams, your club, hey, hold a second, wait up, guys, wait up, wait up. Wait up. So I told President Mearns at Ball State University about this club, and I told him that I had promised basketball tickets to a Ball State game. So I managed to get tickets for all of you. I got 55 tickets here to next week's game against Kent State. I know Mr. Williams is trying to organize the plan to get transportation. Is that right?
I'll take care of it.
So would love to see you next week as the Cardinals take on Kent State. And I'm just so proud of your dedication and discipline. And so when I was a freshman in high school, I started doing push-ups, just like Mr. Williams talked about, one at a time. That's why it appealed to me, I think, was, my dad challenged me. And that discipline it will serve you well in life. So just congratulations, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week. And if I run into any of you, the lines at the concession stand are long, but Mr. Heater might buy you a Coke. Are you not going to be there? Okay, Mr. Heater. You're not going to be there? You're not going to be there. Well, Mr. Heater is, I can't do anything about that. So, here are your tickets.
Oh, thank you.
Good job. IT training.
So, Mr. Williams has brought a great deal of energy to Northside Middle School. One of the other items that he wanted to do was secure some funds for sprucing up the gymnasium. The university, Ball State owns that facility, but I had spoken to the university, and I think we had obtained some approvals to spruce it up. And I want to thank First Merchants Bank that made a donation, as well as Kitzelman Foundation, which secured some funds to spruce up that location. So thanks to those two. I understand Mayor Ridenhour's had to reschedule. Mr. Moore from Longfellow is ill and not doing well. So I believe we have a report on Southview Elementary.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good
I'm loud enough as it is, so thank you for having me.
Do you know you will need to use it because of the
Okay.
live streaming so people can hear it? Is it working?
Working?
Okay.
All right, got it. Good evening, thank you. I am Dr. Casey Smitherman. I am the new principal of Southview Elementary. Welcome to day 7. So I'm very pleased to join you this evening and talk a little bit about some of the things that we are doing at Southview. So, thank you. Obviously, our first and utmost priority is to ensure a quality education for every student. We have some work to go in increasing our scores, and so we certainly are tackling that in a lot of ways. Amy Heath is our master teacher. She's been there since the beginning of the school year. She's doing a phenomenal job. Probably in the first piece of that is so much writing. Our teachers would tell you that our kids are writing a lot more than they have in the past. Some kids learn through reading and some kids learn through writing. And so she's put a big emphasis on writer's workshop. So a lot of pieces of the educational components come from Mrs. Heath. I know you'd love to hear from her. But this evening I want to talk a little bit about more of the building structure, the building climate, some of those pieces that we're putting in order to make sure that learning can occur at its highest level. So the other priorities for that piece would be behavior management, parental involvement. I think all of us could say that our parental involvement is not what we wanted it to be post-COVID. So, trying to regain that piece of where we were before COVID, and then adding a PBIS system, a way to reward good behavior, encourage good behavior. and then just our overall school culture. Please stop me if at any point you have any questions or if I can help in any way. So the first piece for the behavior management, we talked a lot about hallway expectations, making sure that our students stay in the classroom. If they're out of the classroom, that they have a pass. And so we had to tweak a little bit to try to get that to happen. Some teachers were allowing students to go to the restroom on their own. We are now having everybody go to the restroom on a schedule with their classroom teacher. And then we are very fortunate to have 3 behavior coaches in the building. And so working through that process to make sure that students are seeing their behavior coaches when they should be seeing their behavior coaches and not out searching for them. So getting a process in place, so how they exit the classroom to find their behavior coach and then come back. Then classroom expectations. We, for a variety of reasons, weren't going out to recess every day. And so the priority for us is to get our students outside. We heard from parents, even last week at the Family Engagement Council, some folks said that they don't feel comfortable letting their children out in their neighborhood. So we want to make sure that our children get outside time, unless it's raining or really cold or too much precipitation. Our children are going outside for a minimum of 20 minutes every day. And so we're making that a high priority, that they get outdoor time. Our breakfast was served in the classroom. And so now we're meeting students at the door to get the breakfast, to get it going in their bellies as soon as they walk in the door, and making sure that that time is over at 8:30, so kind of setting a hard stop. I'll show in the picture later. But we also reopened our cafeteria last Monday. So our teachers have been eating in the classrooms for all of the school year. That was a struggle. You can imagine if you were a little guy, to be in your classroom all day. If it's raining, you don't get out of your classroom, with the exception of maybe to go to music or art. You're in your classroom for lunch, you're in your classroom for recess. And so that was hard for everyone. So we're very excited to be back in the cafeteria. We are working to ensure, we went through some training before we got into the cafeteria about what cafeteria expectations look like. We're still working on that. So that will continue to be our process. Mrs. Collins was with us today, and she said, I think it looks really good. So I think we're going to continue to work on that, but our kids are very excited to be back in the cafeteria. So things like making sure we stay in our seats and that kind of thing, but we are very excited to be back in there. And then just about our overall classroom environment, making sure that our classrooms are picked up. Our custodians actually mentioned to me that they had seen a real uptick. Last week, Mr. Eddy told us that it had been much easier to clean our classrooms. So we're really excited about that. Not changing. Try it. There we go. Look at those cuties. The picture on the top right, we are utilizing the library next door to us. So that's 2 kids who are very excited to be going to the library. Our library is also under construction, so we don't currently have one in the building. It's going to be awesome when it reopens. But in the short term, we are using the Muncie Public Library next door, and the kids have been very excited about walking over there. So every 2 weeks, every class walks next door to have access to the library. And the Muncie Public Librarians have been very gracious in allowing our students to come over and visit. So it's been a great experience for everybody. So then also talking about the referral process, really tightening up what that looks like. I did work with Mrs. Charles from Grissom so that we are mirroring what they're doing at Grissom. She's been working with a consultant, and so we're very excited to model exactly what she's doing, working with Ms. Schultz, who's her consultant over there. So tracking that data very consistently about what that looks like, the formatting, all of those pieces we've tightened up on. And then making sure that the referred students are escorted. So we don't just send a kid to the office. Now we make sure that somebody comes with them so that they aren't in the hallway and without an adult. And then adding some options. Before last week, if you were in trouble, you came to the office, had a conversation, and returned to class, or had OSS. There was really no other option at Southview. So we have added other layers now. So there is an in-school suspension room, which is only assigned by administration And that can be for 20 minutes for a kindergartner, seems like a real long time when you're in kindergarten, to a couple of hours. Really, I don't think anybody's been in there more than a couple hours, but just to kind of reset. We've also added a reset room that is manned all day by one of our behavior coaches. They take half-hour shifts throughout the day, so they rotate through. Teachers have expressed that that's been the best part of our changing. It's just for kids who maybe are having a tough time. Maybe they've had a conversation with a friend that didn't go well. They need to work through that. We've had some kids who sometimes medicine hasn't kicked in yet. They need to kind of calm down until that. There's been a variety of reasons why kids, but that is all tracked by our behavior coaches every single day when kids come in and when kids come out. And that's been probably one of the biggest pieces of success for us so far. And then next steps, the return to the classroom, whether it's ISS or even a lunch detention or said restitution. We had a little guy who wrote his name on something he shouldn't have. So then he's been helping our custodian so that he can, understand the hard work she does, and he doesn't want to make that mess again. Parental involvement, trying to add our parents back, giving them opportunities to come back into our school. So today was one of the first ones. We had a Valentine party. It was really fun to see so many parents showing up with all the sugar. We did it at the end of the day, and then we sent them home. They may not be happy with us by the time all that sugar is wearing off at 5 o'clock, but it was really exciting to see. We had perfect attendance for our teachers today. So we had really good attendance, I know. We had really good attendance with our kids. So everybody was very excited. In addition, we had author Troy Cummings come to speak to each grade level today. And so that was a real excitement for us. And so giving us opportunities in a lot of ways to share our building and what we're doing with our parents. So today was a really cool day for us. But then asking parents in other ways how they can volunteer or come into our building. So that's been a lot of fun for us. And then I have met with the 812 Coalition, and then last week we had our Community Engagement Council talking about additional ways that we either invite parents in or also help to serve our community. So our food pantry has been once a month, and so we're adding that to the big ideas that go with 812 and some of those other pieces. This month's food pantry will also include a vaccination clinic hosted by Open Door, and then some navigators as Medicaid unwinds, so making sure that people don't lose their Medicaid benefits. So both of those pieces will be included on our food pantry night this month and next month as beginning invites. So we have offered clothing resources that will continue, food pantry, and then a vaccination clinic and Medicaid. So really excited to continue to add to what that includes. Pastor Neil Crane has led that organization at Southview, so it's fun to start seeing how those pieces are going to add to it and what we can offer to our community as well. Oh, and we're going to do a spring carnival, so I'm really excited about that. All right, and then our PBIS system, how do we reward kids who are doing the right thing? So we've based it on a baseball theme, talking about, if you get an out or a strike, so thinking 3 strikes and you're out, not out of the classroom, but just out for the day. Ms. Maupin was sharing that with the Family Engagement Council last week. So we have a daily reward, a weekly reward, monthly, and a semester celebration for meeting your goal. Last week, some of our kids didn't meet their goal, but it was interesting to see how many more have stepped up. I didn't meet it this week, but I want to. They can also not meet it 2 different days and still meet their weekly goal. So, and the daily goal is set by the teacher, the daily prize is set by the teacher. So in Ms. Maupin's room, it's 3 Skittles at the end of the day, and she said, it's like, whew. So 3 Skittles when you're in 2nd grade is a really big deal. Doesn't sound like it to us, but it sure is when you're in 2nd grade. So watching kids get really excited about that, and then adding to their weekly celebrations as well. And then adding some fun for our staff as well. So this morning, First Presbyterian brought in breakfast, which was lovely. So we're really lucky to partner with them. And so we are also starting tomorrow moving our PLC or cluster meeting to after school so that we can join together as a staff. So before they were during their prep time, so the grade levels didn't hear from one another. So being able to share our celebrations together as a staff every Wednesday will be exciting, to be able to share our data, to coordinate. So tomorrow, both 2nd and 3rd grades are meeting together to talk about iRead strategies, for example, which they weren't doing when we were meeting during our prep times. And then it also puts Miss Amy, our master teacher, back in the building because she was meeting with clusters all day, or PLCs. And then we also have expanded our school leadership team. So you'll see there grade level leaders for each grade level. And so we're really excited about tomorrow will be their first time we've been meeting with them as a team for the last couple of weeks. And then tomorrow they will be guiding that conversation. So taking PLC to the next level, and they'll be guiding. Miss Amy and I will obviously be facilitating and adding to that conversation, but it's going to be fun that we talked about yesterday, data collection. What happens if a member of your team doesn't bring their data? How do you have that conversation? So being able to see those teachers take responsibility and leadership, they seem very excited about that, and we're excited for them. Oops, sorry. And then, because our kids are just really, really cute, and you needed to see them. And so in the top right, just one of those pieces I want to make sure that we point out, Southview this is the first time for Southview that they were the city basketball champions. We're going to tell you that every time we get an opportunity. So that was very exciting for us. Watch out when they're at Muncie Central. So very exciting for them. And Miss T, who is our PE teacher, fairly new teacher to us, led them to that victory. So very excited about that. And then just some of those pieces that have added to our educational components. So the writer's workshop, we are looking at new reading curriculum, but in the short term, Miss Amy has been adding some components of words their way, spelling inventory, some different pieces to make sure. So adding math fact fluency, making sure that our students are fluent with their math facts at their particular grade level. And then we also have after-school tutoring 3 days a week. Multiple teachers are volunteering to do that, so we're excited about that. Increased attendance tracking. We have a really big, shiny, light-up trophy that rotates every Friday afternoon if your class wins the attendance award. Ms. Jenkins calls that the attendance wars. That actually has become a highly sought-after thing, so we're really excited about that. And then additional extracurricular opportunities. Ms. T started talking today about announcements club. So some of those kind of pieces, so giving them some different opportunities. And then along with those, met today with our construction team to plan. We have 2 different career days that are coming up. One will be where they actually hear in different groups, and then one they get a behind the scenes view. And this month's monthly celebration, 15 students will be able to get behind the scenes and work with them for 30 minutes, which will be really fun as well. So a variety of ways. So our Troy Cummings, the Touch a Truck Day. So a variety of kind of career day, career opportunities, but at the elementary level in a way that makes sense. Our school carnival, we are planning an I Learn convocation. Are you smarter than the iStep lady? So we're super excited about that opportunity. Some theme days, clubs, and then we are planning a school garden behind our school this spring. I think I touched on this a bit, but just about the celebrations for our kids and our monthly celebrations, and then our end of semester celebration will also include parents. So we really want to honor those kids who are doing the right thing, showing up in the right way each day. We want to value that. So being able to do that, we have printed postcards. So tomorrow when they meet for PLC, there will be postcards in the baskets. So asking teachers to make sure that we give those positive outreaches to home as well. And finally, that we just keep our eye on the prize, that it's important that we understand that we give our kids the best opportunity. And by doing that, it means to deliver that piece of education. Our kids are going to compete in a global world that we can't even imagine today. You know, for 10-year-olds or 8-year-olds, it's a world that we think about, but we really can't fathom. And we want to give them every opportunity to be able to compete in a successful way. And I feel that we are moving in the direction that we can do that. Ms. White has been joining us so much, and I think every single student now knows Ms. White's name, or the tall lady with the boots. So we're very, very grateful as she's helped us in this transition, so thank you.
I just wanted to share a couple of things that I've noticed over the past few weeks in my time at Southview Elementary School. That a few things, as Dr. Casey already elaborated on, was staff attendance. The overall staff attendance has seemed to increase over the last few weeks at Southview, and that is obviously a great benefit, as 1, substitutes are hard to come by, and 2, just having a licensed teacher in there is ideal for us to have. Likewise, there has been, I would say, an uptick in some staff morale around the building. Just a couple of comments that I wanted to share that teachers have shared with us in regards to how they are feeling in the building. So here is an email that was shared with Dr. Casey. Thank you so much for how you communicated in the meeting. I am so thankful for your lightheartedness, but also your courage for change. I am excited for these next few months, even if they are a little wild. I also know that you are thinking about so many things and have many people coming to you with various ideas, situations, and concerns. So thank you for meeting them with such grace and understanding. It's encouraging to see you lead in this way. So some of those things that the teachers are really, really wanting to see that change, and they are wanting to be a part of that change, and we are so very thankful for that. Thank you again for all your time and effort. I hope you get some rest and can sleep knowing that you are a breath of fresh air and encouragement to so many here at Southview. So again, these teachers are very excited to see some of that change taking place. We are celebrating small victories at this point, trying to make contacts home with parents to celebrate students' positive behaviors. We are seeing small victories in some of our hallway procedures that we have started to implement. So we are certainly not where we want to be, but we are seeing very small steps to the direction. And Dr. Casey is doing a great job, as well as the staff of Southview, with all of their help in setting these expectations and then also holding our students accountable for those expectations.
Okay. Thank you both. Any questions? Any questions?
I have a quick question. You talked a little bit about how you're prioritizing behavior management and you've created some new rooms for kiddos. Can you just share a little more detail of how you're documenting the use of those rooms and then how that information is being shared with families?
Sure. So the reset room is documented. Actually, all of our rooms have a check-in and check-out a list. So the reset room, the behavior coaches, because they're manning that all day long, have that. Most of them have a relationship with the kids already that are in there. So a lot of them are going to see Miss Stacy, for example, because they know that's where they can find her. In the ISS room, met with the school leadership team yesterday because I found that some teachers were assigning students. And so we said in the presentation and in the beginning that would be assigned by administration. And then, so there was some confusion so I walked in yesterday and there was a kid in there and I was like, wait, so how did you get here? And he said, my teacher brought me here. And so we had a conversation yesterday to make sure that teachers understand that those students would be assigned by me. So when that's happening, then I need to call home. So in that case, I didn't know that student was there. The room is manned by 2 adults at all times. So we do have a sign in and sign out, but I want to make sure that if a student is in that classroom, that I want to make sure that I'm having that conversation with mom or family. Yeah.
Any additional questions?
Oh, yeah, sorry. It almost looks like a gumball machine. We have it on order. I'm excited. It looks like a gumball machine, but it takes special tokens. It doesn't take quarters. And so think about the old school gumball machine. It has a little cartridge that something pops out so you can pick some beautiful prize that you didn't know you needed, you know. So, but it's a great end of day kind of reward.
Any additional questions? So the board has been aware at various stages, and like many schools, it ebbs and flows. But we took our oath of office in 2018, and Southview has been one of those schools that has been on our list of concern. Observations by both board members, professional educators, community members have revealed that while not alone, Southview has been an environment where that there have been some struggles. And ultimately, it's our children and families who pay the price long-term for that. We're in a period of disruption right now, and that's regrettable. We, as a board, will supply whatever resources are necessary, additional individuals, additional trained folks as we address this. And we went through this, it has been there was an ongoing issue with Southside Middle School. And those who have visited Southside Middle School this year have commented specifically on the remarkable change in that environment over the course of the past year. It is our goal to effect similar change at Southview Middle School that have occurred as a result of a number of really complex variables, many of which are not appropriate for discussion in this meeting or perhaps anywhere. But we will, I just want both of you to know as you work through the remainder of this year, ultimately that we will supply what resources are necessary. So please indicate to the board or to Dr. K what those needs are, and we will do everything in our power to meet them as we work to make certain our students and families are not misserved. So with that, I thank you for your presentation. Anything further? Okay, thank you.
Very much.
Dr. K.
Well, happy Valentine's Day. I've been waiting all day to say that to somebody. Special day. I haven't had my sugar yet, so maybe when I get home or after the basketball game tonight. As Dr. Casey mentioned, author Troy Cummings was at Southview today, and he will be at Westview tomorrow. So I really want to give a shout out to Ball State University for coordinating the author to be able to come to our schools. I have good news that we have received a comprehensive school counseling grant from the Department of Education. That's going to allow us to have another counselor at our high school and provide our counselors with additional resources and trainings, and have Ball State students who are going to be counselors coming in and doing work in our schools. So more services for kids, which is always great. Titus Waters from Central High School is moving on to state finals with wrestling. Want to give a big shout out to his coach, Mr. Bradley, as well as the entire team. They had a good season. I'm going to do that last. We'll be hosting the basketball sectionals February 28th, and there's a game tonight after the board meeting, and then senior night will be Friday night. And so I know Dr. Bell will be happy and sad at the same time with her son Princeton being a senior out there. We are putting together our comp committee again, so I'll talk to a few of you later. We always like to start looking at what we can do to provide raises for teachers for the next school year, and we like to get ahead of that as soon as possible. And then finally, we saw Mr. Williams here tonight with his push-up club, but he also did something very special last week where he held the first Black History concert at Northside. I think Watasha said it best when she said it was just electric in the room. The kids had a ball, and Andy, didn't you put a little bit up on the screen that we can just share a little bit of it with you? And are you seeing who's playing the saxophone? That's our very own Dr. Reynolds. And then if you look at the drums, you'll see Mr. Williams on the drums.
That's great.
Yeah, that will be something each year. He'll continue bringing them back. And Chuck, who was up on the stage, was able to talk to some of the other singers, and they were saying that when Ben was at Mount Vernon, he did this each year at Mount Vernon, and the students just sat and watched. Not our students. They had their arms going. They had their phones out with the flashlights on, and they thoroughly were into it. And so they enjoyed playing for our kids.
Teachers too, they were dancing away. Just look around, you saw the teachers. It was powerful.
Anything further?
I think that's it. Thank you.
Any questions for Dr. K? So I'd forgotten it was Valentine's Day, which is kind of sad for me. But thank you.
You have time before you get home tonight.
Yeah, those days are gone, man. Public comments. Chelsea Pendergraph on budget. Chelsea? Chelsea? Chelsea Pendergraph to talk about the budget. Okay, we will show Ms. Pendergraph did not appear. Christina Dunsmore. Would lead Ms. Dunsmore. We did receive an email from you early this week that has been provided to all board members.
2 minutes. Thank you. 2 minutes, Ms. Whitman.
2 minutes, please.
Hello, thank you for your time this evening. My name is Christina Dunsmore. I'm an instructional assistant at Southview and just began working there on January 9th. I've spent the past 10 years of my career in children's ministry, the last 6 of that spent in some capacity on the south side of Muncie. Through some of the volunteering and community programs I was participating in with Southview staff, I became encouraged because of the positive progress I saw being made at Southview. For that reason, I decided to leave career ministry and begin working at Southview to be a part of the positive impact of our students and their families. Sadly, over the last 30 days of my employment, I have seen the building deteriorate before my eyes. So many things I have seen, heard, and experienced, but a public forum isn't the appropriate time or place to share those things. So why did I decide to get up and speak tonight? There are 2 things I want to highlight while I'm here. First, there has been a significant lack of communication from district concerning all the changes happening at Southview. I've been a part of transition in other organizations, and generally during those times, there's a clear narrative given to employees. That way, when employees are approached with questions, they know how to either answer the questions and or know where to direct the questions to. Also, last Thursday, our assistant principal left Southview in the morning and hasn't come back. I've heard through word of mouth she is being transferred. I've seen her position listed online, but there's been no formal communication to staff at Southview concerning whether or not she is coming back. In this specific instance, students are asking about her absence, but how can employees professionally handle the questions of others when they aren't even clear what is going on? Secondly, I'm very new here. I get that. I have my own professional opinions from my experience so far, but please, board members, I urge you go to the school. Sit down with your teachers, support staff, and other staff members. Create a safe space for them to openly share thoughts, concerns, and opinions. The employees and families at Southview want to feel heard. They want to know that Southview has the same support as any of the other schools in the district. Please do not overlook what is happening within your district and within your schools. Please take the next 2 weeks to decide what you think is the best way to move forward for Southview. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dunsmore. I would suggest that we're going to be making decisions not over the next 2 weeks, but over the next several months, as you heard earlier, as we continue to apply resources. And our perspective is different than yours. We appreciate your perspective, absolutely.
It sure seems there's been a lot more resources in the last 7 days than in the first 21 I was there.
Well,
I will share that.
Yeah, there have been resources applied for 4 years. So, including within the last year in terms of capping class sizes and other items. Yeah, it's been a constant application.
There also was an ISS room that wanted to be put in place, but for some reason the support wasn't there. There was a regulation room that wanted to be put in place, but for some reason support wasn't
Okay,
there.
so we're unable to discuss the particulars
Right, and I don't wanna
of
discuss
those
particulars,
items.
but it is
And
frustrating.
others sought to write this narrative for us on a timeline they chose. So we are communicating as quickly as we can, but understand that the welfare of the children moving forward and that education is at the forefront of our minds. And to suggest otherwise is not accurate. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And do you know, Mr. Williams, President Williams, we do process checks, and we already did them at Southview, but I think it would be good for us to do another round and to get back and be able to hear from teachers. And
I
again,
absolutely think
so
we
we
should
will make sure that we will get that added to our schedule.
There should be continuing process
Mm-hmm.
checks as we work through this year. Again, stability has to be restored.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's unquestionable. With that, for those watching at home, the challenges of public education in Muncie and other communities like it are multivariable. We are not unlike any district similarly situated where human resources are a constant challenge. Not blaming that on the situation here, but it's a part of it. We have kids ultimately who are going to be forced through their aging process to enter a world that they have to be equipped to enter. And candidly, that school for a period of time, perhaps going back to 2018 with, again, some ebbs and flows, has not done a very good job. There are others like it. And ultimately, that's a failure for us. And when we have to own it at some level. And it has to be better. And, we have to govern better. We have to manage better, and we have to teach better. And as I said when I was speaking to Dr. Smitherman, we have seen this turn around at other schools. Southview has to be next on the agenda. It is not fair to our students or their families where we sit right now, and perhaps where we've sat for a number of months. And I don't say that lightly. So the pressure is on all of us. Thank you. We have a number of items on the consent agenda. We're going to pull out personnel. Let's go with all items except for 5.02, 5.01, skipping to 5.03, and then inclusive to 5.08. Do I hear a motion or any discussion?
Move approval.
Been motion for approval?
Second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, we'll show that passed. We're on to personnel. Let's cover all items in subparts B, C, and D. Recommendations regarding certified staff at Grissom, recommendations regarding support, resignations. Do I hear a motion on that?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay. We have a recommendation regarding Dr. Smitherman to serve as principal at Southview Elementary. Do we have any discussion? Okay. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Okay. We'll show 2 opposed. Motion carries. We will move on then to the financial report. Mr. Durham.
Thank you. Included in your board packet is just the first month of the calendar year, January results. So it's just 1 month out of 11 more to go. So just a few highlights that I will hit regarding this report for January. Did receive our state basic grant for the month, $3.5 million. Right now, that expectation for 12 months is about $42.8 million. That could go up or down depending on when the final legislature gets done and they finish up some of their funding formula for schools. We had no long-term debt payments in the month of January. We did finish the month of January with a total overall cash balance of $37.5 million. That's down from the beginning of the month. Still expecting to be in the positive position for education fund at the end of December of 2023. We had a little over $15.6 million in the education fund at the end of the month. Still paid our $50,000 towards our state common school loan. And that basically probably reflects all the highlights for the month of January. Obviously, as we get into the year, we have more months that we stack upon that to that. And that would really conclude my report for January.
Any questions concerning the financial report? Would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Anybody? Okay. High school curriculum handbook, Dr. Reynolds.
I have a bit of a show next, right? Hey, if I could I ask that we move 6.04 above the student handbook? Can we go with that one first?
Sure.
Because really the meat of that is pulled out and put in the student handbook, so I want to make sure we get that approved first. Caleb approached Mr. Grimm and myself about making an adjustment to the grading formula. Typically, MAC follows the traditional high school grading formula where they have 45 for each 9 weeks, and then a 10% semester final for a grading weight. With the new changes to next level programs of study by the governor's workforce cabinet, they've changed those pathways to be aligned with a non-traditional 9-week sequence. So it might take them 10, 12 weeks to finish one of the principles in that pathway as opposed to the 9 weeks, and the grades just won't line up appropriately. So Caleb, with work with the GWC and his teachers have put together these two proposals with a sequential and a concurrent grading formula to better align with the way they earn credits at the max.
Okay. Any questions regarding the changes to the grading at the MAC? Would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, we will show that approved. Now you want to go to 6.02?
Yes, please.
I'm highly confused, but okay.
That's right. Okay, so the high school curriculum handbook contains all of the courses, graduation pathways, the career clusters that we offer. Spent a lot of time a few years ago doing a deep dive and a revision of the handbook. Most of the changes you'll see really are through the MAC with updated course CTE offerings that align again with the next level programs of study, and added pathways that we've created at the MAC. Along with that, we've moved Project Lead the Way Biomedical. That was a half-day course program offering at the MAC. So students had to give up a half day of their high school schedule to come over and do that. A lot of students and other corporations have that as a standalone course at the high school. So we want to bring that back to the high school for this year to offer that up to more students. It was just a hard ask for a half day when you didn't get a field certification or an associate's credential. So it's a wonderful experience, and kids really enjoy the Project Lead the Way Biomedical, but it was a big ask for a half day. So we're going to move, recommending that move back to the high school as a standalone class. You'll see on that summary of changes that I gave you the software development pathway, which is very exciting, with some renovations that we had down here in the MAC. The industrial maintenance electrical pathway is another exciting opportunity for our students. But I would like to highlight that last one. So that last class is an applied class for our life skills students, where they will get to come over here and help work in our print shop, doing copies and posters and learning valuable life skills in a work-based setting. So that was something that Emily Collins and her team have been working on for a long time, but finally got it up and off the ground, ready for next year, pending the approval in the of the handbook.
Any questions for Dr. Reynolds? I want to thank you for overseeing these items. I mean, it's detailed work, and I very much appreciate it.
And I appreciate that too. But let me tell you, the high school counselors and the principals, Emily Collins, Eric, and Caleb and Rhonda really did a tremendous amount of work to, keep us relevant, to keep us in line with the direction that the state is going for our career offering. So thank you.
So any additional questions for Dr. Reynolds? Would entertain a motion on the high school curriculum handbook.
Move to approve.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Middle school course of study, we're on to 6.03.
Middle school's course of study, again, asking for approval for the updated handbook. Not a lot of overhaul changes to it, except for the addition of our dual language middle school program. So that program that started those years ago in kindergarten, that first cohort of students are moving into the middle school. So as you heard, Kelsey has at her presentation, they've been working on what that is going to look like at the middle school. While we are not there yet, we do know that, that we're going to offer a global studies course that you see listed there. Their social studies course will be in Spanish. Social study and world cultures will be in Spanish. And their 6th grade math class will be delivered in Spanish as well. So you thought math was hard? Try Spanish as a second language in math. So we were very fortunate that we have most of the staff in place already to deliver this. So it's an exciting opportunity. We are, to coin a phrase that Kelsey said when we spoke a couple of weeks ago about these changes, that we are building the bridge as we're walking across it on this one. So it's exciting, but still a little nervous nonetheless.
Thank you. Any questions regarding the middle school course of study? That's it. That is exciting.
How many students are in that cohort? Do you know?
25.
Wow.
Awesome.
Any questions? Would entertain a motion?
So moved.
Second? I'll get myself in the record. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. So I don't have any dialogue, just an observation. So I served as judge in a small community where I grew up, 99 to 2005, and everybody thinks the judge has the answer to everything in those little towns, and Union County was no different. Not everybody, a lot of people. And I remember when the ATM machine in Union County at the bank went to Spanish and English, and you'd have thought there was a revolution. I mean, so many people in Union County was like, oh my God, they put a Spanish option on the ATM. The world's coming to an end. And so I smile with joy at this. I mean, it is really, really exciting. And so I'm proud of the work that we're doing there. So thank you for that. Anything further before we head to media questions? Mr. Klotz, do we have any media questions? Have my push-ups gone viral? Just like put one of those juicy things on it. Is that what you call it, where you juice it? Boost. Well, juice it up, would you?
Don't juice that. Don't juice it.
Okay. On a serious note, it's a joy to serve with all of you. It's a privilege. Thank you. Entertain a motion for adjournment. Got a motion? Mr. Lowe? We have a second from Latasha. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Everybody have a great rest of your evening. Thank you.